Welcome, everybody. You all are back to see me for a second time. And I know you guys are really happy I brushed my teeth properly so that my teeth stay nice and clean. When I talk to you, I'm back with Politics of Being Black. And I have a special guest on with me tonight. Oh, my goodness. And the things we're going to cover, just the horrible things going on with immigration. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this mayor race and what the Democratic Party just was told by the American people that live in New York. I think that set a precedence for what could be the winning strategy across the country for Democrats. We're going to discuss that. But before we get there, ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, I had the human MAGA wrecking machine on with me today, female. Tonight, I've got the human legion of boom for MAGA males out there who is going to drop the hammer like you never seen. If you want to get to know her, I'm going to give you her sizzle reel. Take a look at this. We'll get the intro, and then you'll get to meet her.
Friendly reminder that arguing with MAGA is like playing volleyball with someone with no arms. No offense to people with no arms. You can't get one single volley back and forth across the net because they have no points, no opinions, no perspectives of their own behind those dead eyes. All they have is empty talking points they hear from Fox News or their racist dad. They have nothing to say about anything, therefore they cannot have an actual argument. You make a good point, you get a good serve across the net, and instead of hitting the ball back with another good point or well thought out opinion, they say, well, that line, Joe Biden made the line different. What about when I served it? You didn't think that was a good serve? The refs are all corrupt, don't you know that? That's not how you play volleyball. And notice, what I've said in this video is not actually critiquing the content of what MAGA's arguments actually are. We can't even get that far because they don't even know how to argue. They have nothing to argue because they just have one-liners that they're told to regurgitate. And when someone comes and deconstructs that one-liner, they don't have anything underneath it because they have no foundation of feeling, of anything, of any opinion on their own to form their opinions. Come to the volleyball court and then
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen. The LOD for MAGA, my big homie. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming. It is an honor, but I've got to warn you, as I told the ladies this morning, you know that deep down, you are one of MAGA's worst nightmares. You're intelligent, you're pretty, and you have your own mind and you're in control of your emotion. That is MAGA's worst nightmare. And so, having said that, are you ready for this good conversation we're going to have tonight?
I'm so ready. I'm so ready. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, her link is in description. Please go check her out. Fire TikTok. You see, it got me, and y'all know how hard it is to get me to do so. I'm the same guy that won't go to the dollar store with $1.25 in his pocket. So for her to get my attention, you know she brings it. Be sure to go to beacons.ai/politics of being black. There you get everything I'm involved in. You get my IMDb, you get my YouTube, you get the Claremont show, you get the Politics of Being Black show. And if you have any grievances or anything you want to say to me, you can say it to me for 30 seconds and you might get it played on the air. My friend, to get the show started on a light note, we like to do something here that is our homage to the good ladies at the I've Had It podcast. We just call it We've Had It, and we've got an intro theme for it. So as soon as this intro goes off, tell us what it is that you've had it with while living under MAGA. Here we go. All right, what is it?
I have had it with people arguing points that aren't being made. The lack of literacy, whether that's media or just actual reading words that are written, is so astounding and abysmal. And we're all arguing things that aren't even being said. I cannot stand it. The time that is wasted, the energy that is wasted, it is infuriating.
Give us an example of what you're talking about so we can kind of figure out what can be done.
Take the post that you made or one of my posts that you posted at the beginning of the show, and I made a metaphor about MAGA playing volleyball but they can't actually hit the ball back because it's
Right.
like they have no arms. So you'll say something that's like, I think I agree with illegal immigration, but we need due process in order to ensure the people that get treated through the process are getting that fairly. And MAGA will say, well, you don't think that what Biden did, you thought that that was totally due process and you liked it when Biden did it? It's like, I didn't even say anything about Biden. What are you talking about?
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, clearly, you know she's intelligent. She has realized what so many of us have realized, that when you're dealing with MAGA, they're in a delusion. And there's only so many ways you can pop the bubble of delusion. I've talked about this over and over. And what you'll see from me after we discuss something that's happened, I'll try to rub that bubble and pierce it by breaking it down for someone who's delusional. And for someone who's delusional, you can't bombard them with facts. That makes them hunker down into their delusion even deeper. You literally have to walk them to whatever the issue is, then give them a good story as if you're putting your toddler to sleep at night with a bedtime story to get them to start considering another viewpoint. And so as we go through these issues, LZ, that's going to be my nickname for you. We're going to break this mess down. We're going to break this mess down. So I've had it for today, and it's really petty, and it's not per se political, but the people who do it are in MAGA often. You dumbasses at the gym that don't clean off your weights. I mean, golly, you fuckers make me sick. Especially you ones that are shooting steroids up your butt, and it's like 80 plates, and then me who don't take no drugs got to come in and remove half of it so I can get warmed up to do my workout. MAGA men, that's half of the time the weight that they're trying to lift, they're not lifting it. It's bad form, it's ugly, and you got 50,000 plates. Please put the shit back. I'm coming to lift weights, not do cardio. I split those sessions. So that's my petty grievance, Eliza. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're totally right. I mean, they don't believe in germs, probably, but
well, the person who's running Health and Human Services certainly doesn't. But I'll tell you what he does believe in. He does believe in going to getting the ugliest tans America has ever seen. And LZ, I'm so upset with his wife because I like Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I like her character. Her name is Cheryl Hines, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about. She was Larry David's wife till he divorced her. And I bet when Larry David found out she was stumping for the man she's with now, that's when he wrote her ass out of his life on the show. But I don't have no proof of that. I'm just saying. What you think, LZ?
I think that's a fair assessment for sure. I don't know how you go from that world to that world. Like, that's a jump.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Post your comments, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know what you think. Again, her link is in the description. Go show her some love. She's got a great TikTok. You can find me just by going to one site. You get everything I'm involved with. Let's get to the subjects we got to cover tonight, LZ. Do you want the heavy stuff or do you want the light stuff?
Let's start with the heavy stuff. Let's go with heavy.
Oh, boy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, every day while you're living under MAGA, you wake up to some bull jive. That's how they want it. They want to beat you down. They want you to feel so depressed that you have to depend on them. They don't want you to pay attention to politics. They don't want you to feel like we're going to ever get through this. And so you typically have crazy stories happening that they want to happen. And one of those stories that happened that just, it hurt me. Because as a person who's owned child cares, centers, worked with children, I was bothered by this. And I don't have to be a woman to understand how it affects women. Immigration. LZ, I'm going to play a clip for you. You're going to hear the bullshitty dude who's head of immigration talk. And then you're going to hear the tragic story. And I'm going to let you get the lead on this one and I'll follow in behind you. Here we go.
My officers and agents walk into danger so other people can sleep safely at night, so kids can make it to school safely and play outside. So while it's easy to be an armchair quarterback and make up talking points that get activists riled up, The bottom line is my officers and agents are out there protecting the same people who are threatening their safety. Law enforcement's common sense. Politicians need to stop putting my people in danger. I'm not asking them to stop. I'm demanding that they stop. Here's what I have to say to Boston Mayor Michelle Wu, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and anyone else stirring up the outrage about what ICE does. These are real people with real families you're hurting with your ridiculous rhetoric and inflammatory comments. And it's time to remember that.
You know, Todd Lyons, the real people with real families are the people who are going to Home Depot to get supplies for a day job that they're working on that Americans won't do. Miller, a mother who was 5 months pregnant, who just found out she and her American citizen fiance were having a boy, lost her baby after federal agents in a detention center repeatedly denied her pleas for prenatal care, lived and worked in Tennessee for years, detained by ICE for over a month, forced to sleep on prison cell floor, served food with cockroaches, said she was starving and having stomach pains. Guards told her it was normal, begged to be deported so at least she could get prenatal care in Guatemala. ICE refused. She delivered her stillborn baby in front of 2 guards who shackled her feet. Then for 2 days, she wasn't allowed to call her fiance or talk to anyone. She cried alone and was deported to Guatemala shortly after the stillbirth.
LZ, this is America. What the fuck are we doing? And the floor is going to be yours, but I just got to throw this in there. Along with the physical trauma that lady had to experience in front of these men, give birth to something that's not living, people oftentimes tend to forget that it's not just the physical harm that she had to deal with. She is going to be carrying the weight of emotional scars in her mind beyond that. And that's where I'm going to throw the lob up to you. I'm Kobe, you're Shaq. You kind of study in the emotions and how things go with the physical. Floor is yours, LZ. Dish it out.
These motherfuckers, let me tell you.
Thank you.
When that Todd Lyons came on, I'm from Boston. I forget who all these people are because, like you said, they fled the zone with their bullshit. I heard his accent and I immediately recoiled because I'm like, you motherfucker, like you are not what Boston is about. Yeah, I mean, the layers and layers and layers of trauma that this young woman is going to have for the rest of her life. And I don't think people understand the trauma. Sorry, my dogs are barking. I don't think people understand the trauma of like being handcuffed erroneously, or maybe like because you shoplifted, something stupid like that. You're going to have trauma from that, like the lack of dignity from that for the rest of your life, probably. Unless it's something that you're like regularly exposed to, which a lot of times these immigrants are not, because they're law-abiding citizens. They've done nothing wrong, whether or not they have papers or not. Like they're just normal people going about their day, going to Home Depot, going to pick up their kid at school. And I mean, even when you get a job, you have to get drug tested. The way they, treat you at Quest Diagnostics, getting your pee in a cup drug test makes you feel like a criminal. I cannot imagine. And I don't know what like derangement is in these people's brains that allows them to be divorced from the lack of humanity that they're implicating onto people. Like it's just out of this world insane. And you said we're gonna do the heavy stuff first, so I'm gonna say it right up front for people who are in any way misunderstood about what's going on. This is like the beginning of the Holocaust. This is what we learned about in school when we were, 11, 12, 13, all the years of school. And we said, why didn't someone do something sooner? Why didn't someone do something sooner? These are the exact type of things that we thought of as being like, oh my God, these are red flags. We should probably do something about it. And, people aren't pissed off enough about it. And I don't know how to bridge that gap, but it's just senseless and it's insane.
Well said. One of the things I think to bridge the gap is not going to happen overnight. Democrats have got to get strict about putting critical thinking in schools, as well as a detailed history of what has happened in particular with these dictators. A lot of people go to school, as you said, have no idea how Hitler got in power. It wasn't that Hitler overthrew the government. They voted his ass in. And before they voted his ass in, yes. And before they voted his ass in, he had got arrested for racial crimes. He was in jail prior, and their asses still voted for him because he basically painted this same type of story that this race is better and all these other people are taking your resources. They're going to harm your life. They're going to make your life worse, while he's all the time just setting them up for the coup de grace to kill them. I've worked with elderly people in my profession who actually lived during that era, and they told me that they were afraid of what we're seeing with Trump. Now, this was Trump 1.0. I don't know. I haven't seen those people since then, but back then they was telling me that this is how it happened. This is how Hitler got into power. And this one for me goes to the Democrats. You have got to start taking education seriously. Yes. You have got to start putting critical thinking and real history in books at a young age so that kids understand to have apathy, to be in touch with their emotions, to understand fact and fiction. Because what we got right now, LZ, they're trying to disconnect you from that, which makes it easier for you to hear what we just heard with this woman and detach yourself from it, which is bullshit.
Yeah, it's insane.
You took your humanity out of a human problem. Imagine if that was your mom. Imagine if that was your sister or your aunt. Or here's the real one, LZ. This is the real one.
Yeah.
Had that been a blonde hair, blue-eyed country bitch, we would be shutting America down right now.
Yeah. She'll be the last one, though. She'll be the last one when she finally speaks out against Trump. Yeah, they'll come get her too.
Exactly.
The rest of us are gone. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. That like that, and I think that they missed the point. And so, to pierce that delusional bubble, I challenge you, MAGA. What if that was your blonde hair, blue-eyed sister, or your daughter, or your mother? Would you have apathy for them? What if they done something that wasn't illegal, but they're still hauled off to some concentration camp and they're pregnant and they're fed the same food that the roaches are eating? I mean, damn, the only person who I know food is worse than that is my mama. My dog wouldn't eat my mama's food. Neither would I. And I can tell you right now, that was not healthy for her. And so think about the humanity of it all. And we're going to save how the church, the white nationalist church, is killing the critical thinking process. And I don't understand how, because anyone who claims to be a religion, LZ, how can they tolerate this? How?
It leaves me speechless. It actually renders me speechless, which is hard to do. My partner he grew up in an evangelical, like extreme religion, and he has, since left that religion. Obviously, he never would have been able to have a conversation with me. Right. And he has like the best perspectives on this. But and going back, I just want to go back to your question that you posited, taking that one a step further. A big retort that you'll see people say, well, we have papers, we have documents, we're citizens, like whatever, but they're not, you have them in your pocket. They're not letting you reach in your pocket to get your papers. That's the thing. That is the amount of due process people are not getting, even that little amount. Oh, I have my passport right here. They don't want to see it. They don't care. They have numbers. They don't care. So right now they're just going by what you look like. So in the future, when it doesn't matter because they're running out of people and they'll take the blue-eyed blonde version of myself. They don't care. And then about the religion, anything that promises for you to have a reward later, if you just suffer now, suffer the virtue of suffering now for a greater cause, and you will have salvation later, is something that's trying to twist you to its cultish whims. And that's what this bastardized use of Christianity is. This Christian white nationalism. It's crazy. They're making all of, you know, the working class people of MAGA who have been oppressed essentially their whole life under corporate capitalism do the dirty work of fighting. They're basically like fighting their own like crusade against everyone else. And they're telling them you'll get the reward for doing that, for spreading the Lord's name, your mission. You'll get it in heaven, but you're going to treat everyone else like shit, completely against what Jesus and any other religious text ever said to treat people in the process of doing it. It's actually insane. I mean, you could sit there and read the Bible at them, and like what's happening to, I think Jen Hamilton is her name, the creator, who's been reading the Bible at MAGA. Right. I mean, they're just flipping out on TikTok at her. They can't stand to be confronted with their hypocrisy. So,
and that's fact. That anytime you line up with them things that are fact, they do one of three things. They pivot, they go whataboutism, or they just change the subject to something they think you're not versed in. That's it. That's it. And sometimes they will try to pin you in a position, because when I was a child, there were a couple of things, if someone brought it up, you don't challenge them on. If somebody, you're having a conversation and all of a sudden they pop in something about the Lord Jesus Christ, their religion, you automatically was not supposed to, say anything. They done brought Christ in. But we have a new generation of people who are critical thinkers, and we challenge things. School teaches you to think critically, find the hypotheses, then find the truth that goes with the hypotheses. We're taught to do that. And when you challenge MAGA or anyone in these Christian culty doctrines, there's no answer for it. None.
No, there's no answer. And, the whole argument about emotional intelligence and that, I think we should teach that in schools as much as we teach history. Definitely. Too. There's like this whole anti-emotional wave, this MAGA wave trying to, destroy the woke empathy epidemic. And it's so funny, and it's just so typical, because emotionality, human consciousness, our human brain is like one of the closest things we have to an actual miracle here on earth, because we have this amazing consciousness that is perceptive of our own, for mortality and existence, and we can ponder all of these questions or whatever. And our emotionality is half of our brain, right? We got the logic side and the emotion. Not literally, scientists are going to come out and be like, that's not correct. And for people who love to talk about like you're God-given this and God made that and God this, God that, like, so why did he make us have emotions if they're just going to be, nailed to the cross as a flaw? Like, that's so stupid. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. And, if people actually used their emotionality in the way they govern, in the way they run their businesses, in the way they have relationships with people, including their own children, they would profit a lot more in every way, not just monetarily, but, in all the ways you could profit in this world. And so all of this is a really, meaning MAGA, it's just a giant exercise in inefficient ways to human.
LZ, how am I supposed to come behind something that profound? Like, how am I supposed to come behind that?
It's not. It's just I'm just so sick of it. That's
Me
all.
It's and trust me, the momentum is building to change. Like I said, the religion thing, we've got to tackle that. We cannot just keep trying to tiptoe around that. It's either, if we are supposed to be having separation of church and state, that's what we're supposed to have. But somewhere along the way, and this is another thing that's happened throughout history, you have a kingdom or government structure, and then religion starts to grow and infiltrate that government structure, because it's all about control and power. And if you can get people thinking that they're going to go somewhere for eternity and be tormented if they live a certain way, What can't you not make them do? And
they'll die for you.
Yep.
That's
100%.
Like, it's a skeleton key. You get them to do whatever you want. It's so stupid that people, I mean, it's not stupid in the sense that it's very effective, and it makes sense why people would wield this as the weapon that they do, but it's stupid that for some reason, after all the millennia of human existence, we haven't figured out that that's what that is yet.
Right. And some people, LZ, don't want to figure it out because they are afraid to not think like that. They are so caught up in it. They are afraid to actually think that it could be wrong. And if it's wrong, what am I going to do now? But there's consequence, there's thought, there's truth, and there's fact.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
And, I get it. I'm on the one hand, that's like, I'm so mad and I could just bite all of their heads off for all the dumb things that they're putting this country through, dumb being the biggest euphemism of all time. And on the other hand, it's like, I get it. I get that where they're at, even take the MAG out of it, the religious part of it, like, it's scary. Right. You've been scared your entire life because that's what's been drilled into you. I can empathize and I can see and appreciate that. We just got to get other people to just turn on that little switch a little bit to maybe consider that that's what's happening, that maybe the world they're meant to live in isn't supposed to be so scary and so threatening and filled with all these enemies that God also made, by the way.
Right. So. Facts. I was going to say, everything that's evil, whatever you believe, that God made it too. And you've got to consider, I think the biggest thing for me would be this: let your morals be guided by your religion, but let policy be guided by what's best for everybody.
Yes. And there's this, for some reason, people are having a hard time with that because what they hear that to mean is, okay, so Christianity is the default then, so we're talking about wanting the separation between church and state. It's a very benign, that's very neutral. Okay, religion has no place in the government. Makes sense. We're not putting commandments up in the schools. Like, why would we do that? Because if we're going to do that, then we need every other religion's commandments up in the schools. And there's thousands of them. There's some number that's probably in the thousands of different religions throughout time. Like, why is it always the Christianity is the default? I know why, because the white man conquered and showed our horrible whiteness and Christianity on everyone else. But yeah, they take it as separation of church and state means, oh, actually, we're just we're putting a nice little pedestal for Christianity to be safe from having to do everything else that everyone else does. That's what it means to MAGA.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think. Let us know what your solutions would be. There's the link. Just go to it. You can leave me a voicemail. You can find everything I'm involved with. Her link is in the video description. And she just gave me an excellent pivoting point. She didn't even know it. The mystery subject kind of deals with the infiltration of school and taking things away from schools. And it's one of those two crazy states that we belong to, Florida or Texas. Which one you think I'm getting ready to read the craziness from, Florida or Texas?
I'm going to say Texas, but it could be either of them for a number of things just this week alone.
She got it right, ladies and gentlemen. Damn it. She is killing the game today. So
I guess.
LZ, Texas did this bill, Texas Bill 12. Let me read this crazy shit to you. They're banning after-school clubs that talk about gender or LGBTQ topics. Nuts. And as we go into it, no more gender or sexuality alliances. What the fuck are we doing here? Blocks lessons or programs about gender, sexuality, race, or diversity? Okay. let me just summarize it, okay? It's painful. Like y'all get to just. I'm gonna summarize it so we don't gotta melt our brains dealing with it. Here's the impact and the explanation through the summary. Your friends might not have safe spaces. Clubs that have helped the LGBT community students feel and seen will be gone. Tougher classroom environment. Teachers and students might stay silent on important topics. Me and LZ just spent a whole segment on that. Literally, we just spent a whole segment on if you don't know history, it's bound to happen again. And here they go trying to curb it. Finish this out. What changes? Texas schools won't allow clubs or lessons about LGBTQ plus gender topics, and teachers can't use their chosen names, pronouns without telling your parent first. So basically, if you wanted whatever clubs are left, your parents have got to sign it. Thankfully, the ACLU is throwing a lawsuit. This thing goes in effect September of this year on the 1st. LZ, you get first dibs at this, and I'm gonna just throw this out there at you. Trump has already gotten rid of the hotline for LGBTQ plus individuals. And a lot of people don't know the emotional baggage they carry because they live with people who, if they feel like they come out, the people are going to turn on them. So they're carrying this emotional weight and this mental stress already. These outlets were places where they could freely release it, safe spaces, where they could release these things, have communion with these things, and get in touch with who they are. The floor is yours, LZ. Talk to me about when you hear what they're doing, what does this invoke in you?
The first thing I'll say, and I say this every time something about, trans rights comes up or LGBTQ, and especially with children. Do you remember the movie Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis? Yeah. And it was like one day they woke up and they were just in different bodies. It's like, imagine your whole life was feeling like you're not in the right body, or like you are not in the right community because you feel so alien compared to the people around you. That is what these children, and adults too, but especially children who are already so vulnerable, deal with every single day. And I just can't fucking stand that these sons of bitches think they're the pro-life, pro-children, pro-families, pro-women, traditional happy, healthy family virtues people and do things knowing they are literally going to kill children because of this. Like, children are going to die because of things like this. They can't get the help that they need. They're not allowed to talk about things. Also, it's just so fucking stupid because they're so dumb, because gender topics, like gender conforming topics and things like that, that's like, as a woman, me getting plastic surgery to like enhance my looks as a woman. So are men on the football team not allowed to go to like the gym and use their little like kid proteins and stuff to pump up and get like, that's gender conforming like stuff. They don't allow them to do that. Like, you stupid motherfucker. Like, you're so fucking stupid. I cannot take it. But they're also so malicious in their stupidity. It's out of this world. I'm always flabbergasted by the time I'm done ranting about it.
For us who have critical thinking ability, it is very hard to try to get into the minds of the people that hear this and cheer for it. It's hard for us to fathom it. We can't rub enough cells together in our brains to understand it, because we have critical thinking. We're in touch with our emotions, and we generally care about the health and safety of everybody. That's what we care about. How are you able to detach that? And usually the crutch, LZ, is religion. That's usually the crutch. But it's not the crutch that the people who are putting these rules in place go by, because a lot of them, I'll tell you, LZ, they put this shit in place because they're gay, they're a closet, and they want to be able to do it themselves. Yes. And it's called projection.
They want those Grindr airwaves free for them at their RNC convention. Yeah.
Yes.
It's horrible and toxic. And it just pairing that with the need of education in general, like a better reconstruction of this country, like we should have had 200, not even 200 years ago. And now, they're trying to add things like the teachers who already don't have enough time in the day or in the year, enough money in the budget to take care of more and more kids. Now they're going to put bullshit like that on them. And the 10 Commandments stuff. Like I don't know how anyone can look at that. You have to be willfully not looking at it in order to not see how much it doesn't make sense.
Right. You're trying, like, if you don't understand what she's saying, she's basically saying you don't want to know the truth because you're afraid to know the truth, that you're going to have responsibility. Your morals and your ethics are going to start talking to you if you pay attention to this and look at it. That's what LZ is saying. And these people don't want to do that because LZ, I tell this story all the time. I believe WWE wrestling was real wrestling. And when I found out it wasn't wrestling, it was wrestling, I fought it tooth and nail because I even ignored the places where I could find the truth because I did not want to give up that shit was fake. It is. And guess what? When I finally figured that out, that unlocked something in me that starts searching for the critical thought elsewhere. People, MAGA, think about this.
And hey,
how? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, LZ.
No, I interrupted your thought, but just as a little like carrot on a stick, once you reconciled with the fact that it was wrestling, did you enjoy it any less? Like you still enjoyed it, right? Like you still got entertained from it. So like there's not much to be scared of other than more stones are going to have to turn over, but that's okay.
Exactly. She's right, 100% right. And we've allowed this illusion of entertainment to filter into what is reality of the world. That's how we got stuck. That's one of the reasons we got stuck with Trump. But this right here, the harm children that y'all claim you're supposed to help, that y'all are so for the child when it's in the womb. The minute the little sucker sticks a toe out, oh, we ain't giving him shit. We're not going to deport him. If he's black, we ain't giving him no food. If he's Hispanic, take his ass back south of the border. Any black nation you come from in Africa, hell, if you're not going to let us adopt that child to be under a white family, send him out of here. Get rid of his ass. We don't want him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what country. Just
get him. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. People, we're living in this, and you have the power to change it. We can change this. And that brings me to my next story of change. So we're finally getting around the corner, LZ, where we can start talking about a little hope amongst all this bull jive. Again, be sure to go and check her out on TikTok. Amazing TikTok show she puts on. Link is in description. You can find everything I'm involved with. You can even check out my IMDb acting and producing credits by going to beacons.ai/politicsofbeingblack.com for those of you who are just listening. Next thing we're going to talk about is a little ray of hope, and I'm hoping the DNC listened and saw what the people were saying. We've got ourselves a Democratic candidate who ran on a populist socialist platform, which Bernie and AOC and others like me have been saying needs to be run because the reins of capitalism have gotten too far out of whack, way too far. And a lot of y'all who, for some, you hear socialism and it's a dirty word, it shows your lack of education. And before I play the clip of what won this race for Mamdani, I'll say this. While you are busy being placated by the Republican Party, not being allowed to have nice things, and they're telling you socialism is bad, you forget your police officer socialized, your health department socialized, your post office semi-socialized. Your EMT, socialize. The fire department, socialize. And the one thing that y'all always go clapping that y'all love so much, pull out that fucking American flag and wrap your dicks around it, that whole army is socialized. You can tolerate that, but you can't tolerate socialism that can be for the benefit of the average worker. And you also are able to tolerate socialism for rich ass motherfuckers. You're able to tolerate socialism if Amazon comes into your community and says, oh, we're going to bring all these jobs. Not only do you give them $10 million to move there, but you also allowed them not to pay taxes on the building for 10 years when you could have took that same damn money and gave it to all the small businesses that were already in the community, and they could have done just as good a job, if not better, socializing that money than Amazon. But y'all continue to fall for the Republican banana in the tailpipe. And so when me and LZ see what has happened with the mayor, soon to be mayor, we think that there is hope. Take a look at this, LZ. These two moments are what I think ingratiated Mamdani to the citizens of New York. Take a look at this.
Just say the name right, Mamdani.
This is a man who has done nothing.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo tried to turn the tables on the 33-year-old socialist nipping at his heels.
He has zero accomplishments.
I want to be very
And now
clear.
he thinks he's going to be ready to be mayor.
But on the subject of experience, Queens Assembly member Zohran Mamdani flipped the script.
I have never had to resign in disgrace. I have never cut Medicaid. I have never stolen hundreds of millions of dollars from the MTA. I have never hounded the 13 women who credibly accused me of sexual harassment. I have never sued for their gynecological records, and I have never done those things because I am not you.
Mamdani pushed back, citing a campaign mailer from a pro-Cuomo super PAC, which he says distorted his likeness in a way he called Islamophobic.
His super PAC was sending mail that artificially darkened and lengthened my beard to stoke the very fears of that division in this city.
Mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first? Left to right, Ms. Adams.
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
Okay, Ms. Lander. Mr. Lander, sorry.
Boy, what Trump is doing to Canada, there's a lot of opportunities for us to partner better with them.
Ms. Ramos.
I'd love to meet Claudia Sheinbaum, but I'd probably head to Colombia, to my parents' homeland.
Mr. Myrie.
I am the proud son of two Caribbean immigrants. I represent a robust Caribbean constituency. I'd like to go to the Caribbean as my first visit.
Mr. Cuomo.
Given the hostility and the anti-Semitism that has been shown in New York, I would go to Israel.
Mr. Tilson, where would you go?
Yeah, I'd make my fourth trip to Israel, followed by my fifth trip to Ukraine, two of our greatest allies fighting on the front lines of the global war on terror.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in?
Those were the two moments that won for him. And I'm going to lob it up to you, LZ. You're going to be Shaq again. I'm going to be Kobe. Just shorter and a little chubbier. He eviscerated Cuomo. Cuomo was backed by the DNC, and you would think that they would learn their fucking lesson, but they didn't. And Mamdani is going to have to teach them. Everything he said about Cuomo, for those of you that think he was lying, no, it's true. If you didn't know, everything he said is true. That's why they yanked his ass the first time. Everything he said is true, and the DNC backed him. Then the second point, they're asking everybody, oh, when you become mayor, such an important job, where's the first place you're going to visit? All them fuckers said they're going out the country. Make it make sense. Yes, make it make sense. Mamdani said he's going to the boroughs with the people. He did not sound like a political puppet. DNC, folks, the reason some people voted for Trump, but also love Bernie and AOC is because of what Mamdani just did. He was authentic. He was true to the people, and he didn't play the political game. He didn't give the PC answer. He just told it like it was. Having said that, the floor is yours, LZ, because this is the blueprint, ladies and gentlemen.
the thing that I will give MAGA Donald Trump Republicans credit for, what they have done is they have gone to this extreme of being themselves, and it's worked from a marketing perspective. And even if we didn't agree, I mean, even if it wasn't such a great setup for Mamdani to say, I'm not you, like, if that wasn't even the context of what he was saying, just by the fact of him being able to go there and to say what's on his mind and what's on everyone's mind is so refreshing. And that's what we get from Bernie. That's what we get from AOC and other figures too, like Jasmine Crockett. I mean, there's a handful of them who speak so direct to the issues that we're talking about that doesn't make us feel like we're in like a gaslighty political glass box, like separate from the truth of what's actually going on. But yeah, I mean, DNC, what the fuck? Like, what more do you need? Like, why, first of all, why do you choose like the oldest, crustiest, most corrupt people with all of the different investments and corporations? Like, you know your brand less than someone who's like dead, like
facts.
What are you doing? I don't understand what is so scary and progressive about every American having healthcare, every American having a job that they go to 40 hours a week and still can live and pay their bills and not have to choose which bills to pay late. To have, education and their kids to have childcare and, be able to do what you want with your own body, with who, or with whom. And the fact that DNC, our own, like, supposed to be our shepherd here in this wasteland of bullshit, is stamping out those ideas by supporting people like Cuomo. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, because if people really listened, and I do believe if we can get people who are, on the other side of this to actually listen to the words with a clear view of what Zohran Mamdani says, they would agree with what he's saying. And that's it.
Period. They would definitely agree with it, because a lot of people that voted for Trump this time originally voted for Biden, who is a centrist. Like, he's run of the mill. It was like Jasmine Crockett said, they went and got a safe white boy, run of the mill. The centralist people who vote like that, they want someone to be authentic and for them, like Mamdani. His proposals are so good, it's scaring billionaires, and that should make the average person happy.
Exciting.
He wants to cap increases on rent. He wants to, by 2030, get minimum wage in New York to $30 an hour. Okay. He wants everybody to get health care in New York. He wants everybody who has has a baby to make sure they get early education and support for college. What is wild about that? If you consider this, so let me put it to my business folks this way, because y'all love to debate me and then you tuck your tails when I hit you with facts. The wealth gap, because of crony capitalism, has expanded so wide, and minimum wage has done what? Stayed flat since I was in high school. It's been $7.25 since I was in high school in like 2000. And prior to that, when I was working in high school, it was $4 at one point in time, $4.25. And while that was happening to the hourly worker, the wealth gap just kept getting more and more concentrated. And so what Mamdani is doing is trying to bridge that gap, since the wealthy are not going to do it. They're not going to do it because they want the Republicans are not going to do it. They want the power. And dare I say, the people funding the DNC to fund Cuomo, they want the power too. Because if you listen to what the people were saying, you would have known to jump on Mamdani from day one. Day one. And so, go ahead, LZ. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just breathing because we could go all day talking about this stuff. I saw a video. I'll try to send you the link if I can find it again. But this woman was talking about how, under normal circumstances, the Dem playbook, might work or whatever. But we're under a hostile dictatorial takeover. Putting your average safe white boy up there isn't gonna take us to the places we need. We need our A players, the people who are making the most resonance with the most people right now, front and center. And that's like DNC cannot do the thing, first of all, that is the common sense, but also the right thing to save their life. They're like addicted to flopping. It makes no sense.
And that's why they're polling bad, because that flopping makes them look like they don't have any backbone. That flopping makes it look like they don't have any moxie. That flopping makes it seem as though you're not listening to the will of the people. That's the most important part. People want someone who has character, but is going to fight for them. And right now, at times, it feels like the people who are doing all the fighting are us, me and you. I've had it. Little coalitions I'm building with people on TikTok and YouTube. It seems like we're doing all the fighting when you guys are the one connected to the folks with the money. It's your job to get the folks with the money to listen to what the people are saying. Simple as that. And now, LZ, we're knocking on the door of something good when you have the 5 most hated Republicans in all of America jump to a microphone or their Twitter or their X and had to run their fat gums about what happened in New York. I've got the clip for you, and this is where we get to make fun of MAGA, because people already hate their asses anyway. Here we go. This is going to be good.
Right-wingers are losing their minds over Zohran's win. Zohran Mamdani shocked the political establishment on Tuesday as he won New York City's mayoral primary. Conservatives are not taking it well. They are absolutely losing their minds because there is an economic populist message, exactly like Bernie's and AOC's. It turns Charlie Kirk says 24 years ago, a group of Muslims killed 2,753 people on 9/11. Now a Muslim socialist is on pace to run New York City. Alex Cole retweets with comment and says a white Christian killed 168 people in Oklahoma City. Should we ban white Christian mayors too? Or is your math selective? And I want to point out a couple of things. Stephen Miller says New York City is the clearest warning yet of what happens to a society when it fails to control migration. And Micah Irfin's response to this, if New York City was all white, Mamdani would have won by more, LOL. And the facts are, as the polling came in, white educated voters voted overwhelmingly for this candidate. And I saw she posted a picture of the Statue of Liberty with a burqa on, and she says, this hits hard. And this is so rich for the party and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who never acknowledges the suffrage movement and the women prior to her that have fought so hard for her to have the very job that she has, to then just go to the lowest hanging fruit imaginable. To all my friends in New York who are not communists, come to Texas. We love freedom and we're not nuts. Okay, this is a complete lie. Number one, women in Texas do not have abortion care at all. And they are either bleeding out or having to drive to other states. They're putting the 10 Commandments in the classroom. It is a complete Christian nationalist hellscape of the highest order.
LZ, which one of these ragamuffins do we get to destroy first? I'll let you pick. Do you want Marjorie Trailer Park Trash Green? Do you want Charlie Cut him in the butt Kirk? Do you want Stephen Madman Racist Miller? Or do you want Ted, he's a bad Cruz, Raphael? Which one would you like to go and destroy first?
With options like that, how do you choose? I mean, the lowest hanging fruit is Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene. And, I was just an iota of thinking that she might be cracking last week.
I did too.
And then she does this shit. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. Bless her heart. She is really fucking inbred. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we call her Marjorie Trailer Park Trash Green, because of this right here. I mean, this is racism at its finest.
Yeah.
Wearing, you put a statue of, I'm surprised she's intelligent enough to use AI, but I digress. You made an AI picture of the Statue of Liberty with a burqa.
It's someone who says, oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go. You go, please.
Someone who says she doesn't want to get involved in like foreign wars and stuff. What are you doing with this type of inflammatory shit, you dumbass? Like you.
Yes, she is a dumbass, and she's inflaming things. Last week she was on the attack on Trump about getting into wars and how bad of a man Netanyahu Benjamin Drink the Yahoo is, and now all of a sudden she wants to do this. Come on, MTG. Come on.
Iran has the right to defend itself, like being sympathetic to people who are, wrongly being attacked, and then does this. Like, what do so that was just an empty talking point then. So you moron on so many levels, fucking moron.
Right. And like I said, to start this out, the fact that they came out so hard against this, they are afraid of losing that power because they know. They know, as my grandma used to always tell me, a hit dog will holler. Well, hell, we got 4 of the poorest dogs in MAGA all hollering, and I'll take you to the. Can you believe that this person I'm going to talk about now, he's more hated in the Beltway of DC than Trump? Teddy, don't take his bad cruise. Telling people to move from New York to Texas. Floor is yours, LZ.
Please, people from New York, one of the most, populated cities, on earth, if not, whatever. Please move to Texas, flush them out. They need more Democrats in Texas. Both these stupid morons out. If one person from every apartment building in New York moved to Texas, Ted Cruz wouldn't have a job in like 3 weeks. So
exactly. I've never forgotten how, in the midst of COVID and everybody having to be locked down, he took his fake Hispanic ass on a cruise with all his friends and his family. Is this y'all's king? And freedom. How can we not forget how Tucker him in the butt Carlson chopped him up last week and called him out for what he is. And you got the audacity to be trying to tell somebody to come to a state where you, as a senator, don't understand a country you about to go to war at. If you don't understand that, you didn't do your homework for that. You didn't do your homework for that interview. Why the fuck should I think you would do your homework about what the people in Texas truly need? So no, your comment doesn't count either. Now we'll go ahead, LZ.
I have one question for Ted Cruz. What's the population of Texas? Do you know?
I got another question for Ted Cruz. What's the population of the Senate? Moving right along. Let's go to someone who swears up and down the best women are those that self-serving to their husbands, have blonde hair, blue eyes, and back up all the bullshit of taking away rights for women to support their man. And he thinks that if he walked in a room with you, LZ, that you would be so moist, you just come out your clothes and throw yourself on him. Let's go to Charlie Kirk.
I hate this guy so much. It's visceral, the hate that I have. It's just these people who are supposed to be, political commentators are supposed to have, law degrees, advanced experience in these topics or whatever. They don't even know how to make simple, solid logic because everything they say, again, like playing volleyball with someone who doesn't have arms, no offense to armless people, can just be flipped right back over and they get dunked on. Like they literally have no ability to make logic. I don't know how to say it in any simpler form than that. It's so stupid.
I feel like the ones who are in position of power, they have logic. The logic that they have is if I keep peddling this bullshit, the people who I'm telling the story to will continue to believe it. And It bugs me to no end. I hate to go on a rant, but this is going to be a quick rant. Have you noticed how all the people that love Trump or voted for Trump or he had on his campaign trail are all these online snake oil guys? They started their careers as snake oil guys. Charlie Kirk is another one of those dudes. Yeah. All these guys who love to do white collar crime voted for Trump because they know how easily the American public can be manipulated if they're uneducated, fuckers. And this is another example of that. Uneducated. Last, but definitely not least. And because my wife works at this place, it's hard for me to even associate this psychopath. Stephen Madman Racist Miller, who graduated Duke, is, if he's sounding the alarm, and ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake, he's one of the top 2 people pulling all the puppet strings for what's going on in the country and Trump. If he's sounding the alarm, all I can say is, Democrats, we are on to something across the nation. We're on to something. Hey, puppy, we're on to something. What do you think, LZ?
His hairline went back even further.
Oh my God. No, you didn't say he got a hairline like LeBron James.
And this is just the primary. This isn't even the real, this is just the primary, and they're all worked up.
Right. It should be a telltale story to everyone that the man ran on a Zamdani ran on a campaign that helps people. It helps people. Think about it like this. He's only talking about raising the taxes on the rich 2%. That tells you how much money is in New York. I think New York has the 5th or 4th biggest economy by itself in the world. Right. In the world.
Right.
And he's saying that if we raise taxes 2% on these billionaires and these corporations, by 2030, we can get free education. Well, let me not say free. We can get socialized education from pre-K through college. We can get $30 minimum wage, and we're going to put a cap on raising rent till then so that that wealth gap can shift a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, when they tell you socialism is bad, they forget to tell you that that shift in wealth gap is socialism too. It's just that instead of it shifting to your middle class asses, you're letting it shift to the fucking rich, who not only didn't get the money, but they also get the power.
Yep.
Damn. Wow. Post your comments, y'all. Let me and LZ know. We are dying to hear from you. Her link is in description. You've got all my links right there. This last subject we're covering is a LZ special, ladies and gentlemen. She wanted to talk about some things that is going on in, what was it? Let me pull it up here. The election. There was some election there. Felt like there was some tampering and some little nooks and crannies being crept into. I got a video for you, LC. Then after that, you get the floor. Let's take a look at this.
Y'all, imagine casting a vote for yourself and getting 0 votes. So that's what happened to one 2024 U.S. Senate candidate in Rockland County, New York. Now, a lawsuit is demanding answers. Smart Elections is coming in hot, armed with voter affidavits and statistical red flags, questioning not just local Senate results, but the presidential race too. I wonder if Elon got something to do with this too. Anyway, they're pointing at voting machines, shady software updates, and a pattern of irregularities that just don't add up. President Trump may be officially president again, but y'all, this case is pulling the curtain back on some uncomfortable questions. A judge has allowed the lawsuit to go forward. A hearing is set for September 22nd. Now, this isn't conspiracy. It's court-approved scrutiny. And if numbers aren't matching up, what else is off?
Exactly.
LC, floor is yours.
Yes, sir. So Rockland County, New York, it's a county, like many do, has several districts. In many of those districts, look at you, got it all queued up.
I got you.
there were a number of votes for, and this is, in specific districts, there's different things going on, but in one district, there's a number of votes for the Democratic Senate candidate and 0 votes for Harris. And then we have other districts in the county where they have sworn affidavits that people voted for the third party presidential candidate, I believe. I could be misspeaking. Sworn affidavits, these are one of the things that they got admissible in court, which is why this lawsuit is proceeding. And then that candidate got no votes or less votes, and they have affidavits for sworn voters, which is very strange. And that in of itself is very strange. But if you look at the work that Smart Elections is doing, that is a nonprofit grassroots organization. They're an election watchdog into processes and logic around how elections are won. And another organization called Election Truth Alliance, which is another separate nonprofit. They do a lot of statistical analysis on vote counts at the county district level, wherever they can get data. They are uncovering all sorts of strange, statistically improbable anomalies all throughout the country, counties all throughout the country. The lawsuit in Rockland County, New York, that's moving forward, they are suing to get hand recounts of all the votes in that county. So that will be the ultimate test of what happened, where's the discrepancy. And just today, Smart Elections released, they have like a 15-page list of what they're asking for in discovery. And that includes like custody records of votes, all the different, voting records, but also Starlink records, anything that had modem connection. They have gotten extremely granular with the technology and the documents and the people who are involved with what they're looking for. So I would say they know what they're looking for. They probably know where they're going to find it and what to do next when they do. And the reason I want to talk about them is because they are a nonprofit grassroots group, and they're always looking for donations, if not volunteers. So I just wanted to plug them. Other than my TikTok channel, I don't have, anything else to plug. So I wanted to talk about those guys. And I will say all of this, I know Democrats all across the board have been really reluctant to talk about this because, God forbid, we're viewed as election deniers. I'm way beyond that point of caring what MAGA thinks. I don't know why you aren't. Isn't it just strange, though, that the man who can't even fill a rally the night before the election, let alone on the entire campaign trail, won 100% of swing states, which has never been done before, I believe. 100% of counties that flipped from the previous election, there were 88 counties, flipped red. None flipped blue. Not a single one flipped blue, and won the popular vote. Swept in a way that nobody before has ever seen. For real that time.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that makes sense? I'll just leave it at that.
So let me summarize everything you said. Very eloquently said. Please go support the group, ladies and gentlemen, because they are kind of the watchdog to make sure that nothing crazy is going on. Smart Elections is suing over weird voting patterns in Rockland County's 2024 election. A judge agreed there's enough evidence to dig deeper. The case is now in discovery with a possible hand recount coming in September. That's right around the corner, people. The results won't flip the presidency, but could strengthen trust in elections. Block voting may explain it, but the court needs to verify with real data. I'm kind of like, I'm one of those people you're talking about that's kind of like, let's not give the hand to MAGA and be like them. The difference here is I'm also saying if there's legitimate evidence, why not go through it? Like you can say that we're like MAGA as election deniers, whatever. But if there is real deal, legit evidence, go through it. Now, I do hate the fact that it's not going to reverse the presidency. In a number of ways that are baked into how the system is supposed to work, can't do anything. If we would have had a Senate and a Congress together, President Trump would have been impeached already. I can just tell you that. And then the buffer on top of that is that them fucking Republicans got the Supreme Court too.
Right.
And so, you know, even if there were laws on the books that would say he cheated here, we need to have a recount, they probably wouldn't even entertain it. They wouldn't. But for the future to really solidify, did something bad happen, I think it's important to follow the evidence and see what it leads so that we can know for sure if there has been some gerrymandering. And we know Republicans love to fucking gerrymander.
A lot of that.
Yes, physically, emotionally, and now electronically.
Yes.
And with Elon Musk owning the satellites, I think that as much as people are saying it's a conspiracy, there's enough evidence to say, let's see what happens. No, nobody is saying that, you know, nobody is saying that Trump didn't win. We're saying if there is a judge saying that there's enough evidence, we need to look at something.
Yes.
Look at it.
Yeah.
It does not, it's not going to hurt. What's the worst? We got the worst already. It's not going to hurt anything to see where it goes.
The truth is always important. The truth is always important. And I think the biggest gain here is for people to realize if this is all revealed, and if people want to check it out, the Election Truth Alliance and Smart Elections have all the information really well, thoroughly displayed, and you could see it all. They explain it way better than I do. It would help to know that if there is truth to this, there wasn't this mandate for this crazy evil dictator. And I think that is the biggest opportunity here for people to know, like, no, MAGA's not the majority. There were a lot, you know, a level-headed people voting with their heads and their hearts in this election, and not just what the evil dictator said. I think that would be huge for the morale, for the actions that people take, for our next steps. And look at what happened when Zohran won the primary for New York mayor. They're flipping out. Imagine how they would flip out if this came to light too and implode.
Right. Especially with them talking about they're going to try to circumvent the rules somehow, some way to keep Trump in there. They're doing all this felonious bull jive. I think that we do need to just see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. If it's nothing, we've already got the worst. If it's something, we know we've got more to hang our hat on in the next election. So y'all let us know what you think. Post your comments. LZ, that is all I got for you today. What an incredible show. You done excellent. Tell the people what they can look forward to seeing on your TikTok as they start to come over there and flood it with goodness and not MAGA-ness.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. My TikTok, I post a lot about emotionally immature parents, emotional maturity in general, self-help, just based on my own experience and all the things I've learned going through my own healing journey. And I find that validation is half the battle for me. So I'm finding that the truth for a lot of people as well. So I think if you're someone who's grown up in that sort of environment, you'll find a lot of validation on my page and a lot of MAGA bashing. So
I concur with her. You all know my main audience knows that I've gone on a journey where I denied certain things about myself. I was in a delusion, not a political delusion, but a kind of an emotional delusion and a lie with people I really, really care about. And it took some doing to get out of that. And, you know, scars on the body physically heal, but it takes even longer for emotional scars to heal. And I take pride in the process to where I'm at now, because I'm never going to waste an opportunity not to show y'all my daughter and my son that I'm raising, and I want them to be in touch with their emotions and know how to control them. Y'all already seen this, but LZ hasn't.
Oh my goodness.
That's my little Yes, and she is now about to be 5 and next weekend, and we think we're doing a decent enough job as best we can of keeping her emotions regulated, allowing her to explore those emotions, allowing her to feel those emotions, and trying to coach her on the best ways to get through them. A lot of what you'll hear on LZ's channel, so please go check her out. Definitely top notch. Did we do a good enough job that we might can have you back one day?
Oh, I would love to. Thank you so much. I mean, this has been wonderful.
We would love to have you back. I would love to have you back when my other co-host Claire is up here. She's a hoot. I think that's the nicest way to say it. She is a hoot. You think I'm nuts. When we team up, oh my goodness, you'll just fall out. But again, ladies and gentlemen, her link is in the video description. Mine is down there too. Please go and support both of our channels. Let her know you came from me so that she can say, hey, he was of some value. He wasn't just smiling, skinning, and grinning, talking politics. We're out of here. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, LZ, thank you for coming through. Audience, I'll see you next week. And a 3, 2, 1.